Purpose of getting together today, we're not speaking directly about individual groups, we're not speaking directly about individual cases, but we are going to talk about behavior. And we had some of this conversation last week. It was important for me to be able to demonstrate with other partners that are in this conversation that we want to continue to emphasize the level of unacceptability we have for violent behavior. It's important that people be able to express their First Amendment rights, and we saw some of that done very well last week, and we've also seen some examples of that I want to highlight that are concerning. A couple of things we're going to show you are available off of social media, but I think it's important to demonstrate the boldness that we're seeing with some of the violence in our city and the importance that it doesn't go unaddressed. On May Day, you might be aware that we had a protest event that evening, or a march from the South Park blocks, and they went down Broadway, and there were several businesses that were damaged. At that time that march stepped off, there was a social media release that demonstrated this flyer, which we'll make available to you. And this was put out on social media, and you can see the call to action by the folks that put this out. And the lines there that kind of jump out at me, one of it is, take whatever autonomous action feels good. They actually list businesses to attack. Down there's a line about 1,000 points, find a location on list and bring it to the block's attention. And in fact, 2 or 3 of the businesses that are on this list were attacked. This was at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. People were in those businesses. I find this to be very troubling. The bold statement of violence, and it's not behavior that is conducive with First Amendment speech. This is just simple criminal activity that needs to be addressed. I'm also want to highlight the fact that it's kind of cartoonish, but there's a couple of examples of explosives on there. And at one of the local establishments, we did find commercial grade firework left next to the building. We have a photo of that, Marshall. Could have definitely caused significant harm to someone. We were able to secure that and have our disposal unit take care of it. But the intentionality and the boldness of this will not be tolerated as we continue to do our best to work with everybody in this community to make sure that we all stay safe. Excuse me. That evening, we also had the fires at the training division, as we already covered last week. But disturbingly, we had another claim on social media taking responsibility. And I don't know, I can't say to you at this moment who's responsible for what. As I said, we're not going to get into the nuts and bolts of the investigations. But I want you to see this post on social media that taking credit for this action. And particularly disappointing is the call to action in the bullet points at the bottom. Marshall, if you could go to the one that's just got the post. Down there, if you read down at the bottom there where it says number 4 in particular says, fight, defend your camps. If the frat bros come, smash their frat house windows. If the Zionist settlers come, throw fireworks at them. If the cops come, don't just resist arrest, fight them. They will hate you and beat you if you're peaceful or violent, and it is time to be violent. And ladies and gentlemen, that should concern all of us, this type of messaging. And it really is a matter of behavior. It is a matter of expectations. I'm grateful for the support we had last week with a number of partners. We worked closely with the Oregon State Police, with Portland State University Police Department, and we had a lot of peaceful demonstrations last week. So nothing to be said today is to convey this cloud or for me to say that every protest or every march or every demonstration falls into these categories. But I did want to highlight the significance of some of these statements and some of these challenges that we're facing, and also highlight some of the things that PPB is doing to address them. Obviously, there's a series of ongoing investigations. We're working closely with all available resources and all available partners to be able to bring some of these cases to resolution. We're also adjusting our response in our operations branch, making sure that we're as available and as agile as possible as we see various events pop up across the city. We want to be more responsive, more engaged, have a stronger police presence as we go forward. during this time of year as we lead up into the election cycle. We're also trained and have dialogue officers available that we desperately want to be able to reach out to our activist community, to anybody who wants to engage in First Amendment, and we are happy to liaison with them and be available to coordinate these events so they can be done safely for everyone, for all of the community. You're aware that we're reinstating our rapid response team. Training is beginning this month. We hope to have those resources back online in a short period of time, as well as the rollout of body-worn cameras this summer is going to also be able to help capture information to maybe provide safer resolutions. And then our ongoing partnerships with the county, with the state, with our federal partners, with our community liaisons, all with the intent to minimize harm, all with the intent to try and make sure that people can once again express their First Amendment rights, but do so in a way that's safe for everyone. I want to close just briefly with a quote from Eric Hoffer's book, True Believer. He says, "Hatred is the most accessible and comprehensible of all the unifying agents. Mass movements can rise and spread without belief in God, but never without a belief in a devil." I believe that these social media posts and some of these actions we're seeing around anger and hatred are crippling our city. And we need to have a conversation about how to heal. Certainly there's plenty of injustice. Certainly there are things to be angry about. I understand that. But we cannot tolerate the level of violence, vandalism, and personal attacks that we're seeing on individuals at the same time that we're trying to facilitate our First Amendment rights of free speech that we hold so dearly. I just wanted to take a minute and thank the folks behind me, Special Agent Charge Doug Olson, U.S. Attorney Natalie Wright, the mayor's support, and of course our fellow law enforcement partners in the Oregon State Police.